It's me, Darkfanimewatcher. Today we're gonna open up with some questions from the fans. Are you single? No, I am not. But my girlfriend doesn't even know what Fanime is, because I keep my Fanime life separate from real life. I'm sorry to say. What are the top 5 Fanime series? I was going to address this in a later video, but for now, I'll just say them. In no particular order, the top 5 are Tokyo Crystal Mew, Micro Rat, Bart the General, Shin, and Koishiko Meiji's Heart-Throbbing Adventure. Will you review my Fanime series? Yes, I will. But you just have to ask me. And as long as it's a cartoon, that is a type of Fanime, because I only review Fanime. Why do you like MS Paint so much? MS Paint is the perfect tool for Fanime. It has everything. Pencil, eraser, spray can, and paint bucket. Don't use tools that are too powerful for you. Just use the basics, please. Unless you have a truly compelling reason. Well, anyway. Here we are with Tokyo Crystal Mew Episode 2, as promised. Now, it starts off with the opening theme, which has a lot of characters that never appear in the show. The opening has much more effort put into it than the rest of the episode. This episode starts off with a fight scene, which normally would be a good idea, but in this case, the animation is so poor that there is no tension or pathos. The monster this time is an octopus with a hideous human face. The girls power up and they kill the monster in one attack. Also, Kish from Woof Woof Power shows up to make a cameo to taunt the girls about the Seacon anima. This would be a good time to talk about the aesthetics of the episode. It's a very mixed bag. It ranges from passable to very bad. The faces, in general, look deformed. And the animation is limited to 2 or 3 frames only. This episode is actually a very poor example of animation skill. And the worst part by far is the color overs. Stealing all the characters and the idea for the show is fine, but coloring over is a step too far. But in the second part of the episode, the girls go back to their house to talk to their moms about becoming Mew-Mews. And this, surprisingly, is the strongest part of the episode. As expected by this type of Fanime, the emotional aspect is better than the fighting or the monsters. And the new friend of the episode is Cookie. I wasn't able to understand her voice because it was a little too quiet, but someone on Japanese Nico Duga subtitled it for me. And it ends with the ending animation, which is actually pretty good. Well, that's all I have to say about this one. So for episode 3, the opening is even better than before, although it still has the problem of containing a bunch of characters that never appear, and it reuses some animation. In this episode, the kids start by going to school, just like in every other episode. But by now I've noticed the animation. By now you should be able to tell that the animation is much more stylized and effective than in any previous episode. Even if most of it is traced, it is still much closer to the full potential of MS Paint. The girls go to school and they learn about Christopher Columbus, which I don't think they should learn about in Japan. For the most part, there are no backgrounds in this episode, which is fine, because the animator chose to focus on what's relevant. Which for episode 3 is character development. Well, most of the characters have different personalities. The pink girl is supposed to be stupid, and the blue one is supposed to be smart, but they're actually all just stupid. Why is this episode the best, then? Well, here's the reason. This character is Chi. She's 3 feet tall and she always wears her hilarious bear pajamas. And for some reason, the cartoon frames her as the bad guy. She always picks on Cookie for no real reason, which is the best part of the episode. And like I said earlier, the emotional aspect of the show is better than the action segments. Well, what she does is she locks Cookie in the boys' bathroom and sings her favorite song. Cookie gets mad and fights back, which is when the focus shifts back to Toya and Mina. They trick the principal into letting them out of class, then they try to look for a cookie in the boys' bathrooms, and they're in for a scare. Everything about this episode is better than the previous one. The animation is light years better, there's an emphasis on character interaction instead of action or plot points, and even the writing, music, and sound is better. And everything connected to cheat is the high point of this episode. Well, that's all for now. See you next time.